Good morning, my dear friends and sir. This is Insha Parveen and my roll number is 09. My today's topic is going to be on types of lamps. So the first lamp that I am going to discuss is about incandescent lamp. So what is an incandescent lamp? An incandescent lamp works when the filament gets red hot. This filament gets red hot because due to the passage of electricity. And so let us see what are the parts involved in this incandescent lamp. So the parts are inert gas, filament, support, button, lead in wire, stem, heat deflective disc, pinch, exhaust tube and base. Let us see how does an incandescent lamp work. So this works when an object gets hot. When this object gets hot, the atoms in this gets thermally excited. So when this atom gets thermally excited, this atom releases electrons. These electrons further release photons. These photons emit light. The advantages are compact size and low cost, no need of ballast, good lumen maintenance and optical control, and good color rendering. Whereas the disadvantages are short life and low efficiency, performance is 20 lumen per watt, radiant heat effect and need waterproof fitting. The third topic that I am going to discuss is about mercury vapor lamp. So what is a mercury vapor lamp? It is a gas discharge lamp that uses electricity through vaporized mercury to produce light. So let us see what are the parts involved in a mercury vapor lamp. They are electrode, fluorescent coating, support frame, arc tube, nickel plated cap and series resistor. Now let us see how does the mercury vapor lamp work. The lamp starts by discharging argon between the two electrodes. After this, the vaporization of the mercury starts and the pressure is split. Then the argon discharge is shifted to the mercury discharge. This process takes 5 to 10 minutes. After power interruption, in the inner tube, the pressure is dropped. So this takes a lot of time and for the argon discharge. The advantages are long life and moderate efficiency, good lumen maintenance, burning position not critical, limited dimming rate. And the disadvantages are doesn't restart immediately, control gear and ignition is important, burning position is very critical, high cost of lamp and ballast. The second topic that I'll be going to discuss is about fluorescent lamp. So what is a fluorescent lamp? A fluorescent lamp is a low weight mercury vapor lamp that uses fluorescence to deliver visible light. Now let's see what are the parts involved in a fluorescent lamp. There are many parts: vacuum tube, capacitor or starter, ballast or choke, mercury and argon at low pressure, cathode filament coated with special oxide. Let us see how does a fluorescent lamp work. When we on the supply, the current goes into the choke. The choke delivers it to the filament. The filament gets red hot, and this choke and filament, they both are connected in series connection. So after this, at this very instance, the starter breaks. When the starter breaks, there is a voltage drop of 900 volts. And when this after this 900 volts drop, the UV rays are produced. This UV rays goes and hits the phosphorus coated powder in the vacuum tube, and thus visible light is produced. The advantages are linear shape and moderate cost, high efficiency, long life and good lumen maintenance, and excellent color rendering. The disadvantages are ballast is needed, iron choke is noisy, flicker on starting, ambient temperature affects light output, short delay in striking. The last topic that I am going to discuss is about metal halide lamp. So let us see what is a metal halide lamp. It is a type of a lamp which gets inactive, and when this gets inactive, a mixture of gases is passed through it to create light. Now let us see what are the parts involved in a lamp. They are UV filtering borosilicate glass, starting electrode, main electrode, fly wire, stem, screw cap with foot contact. Cap. So now let us see how does a metal halide lamp work. It is a electric discharge lamp that uses radiation to create light. So this radiation is formed when a mixture of metal vapor and dissociation of halides is formed. It is coated with phosphorus. Advantages are it is used in stadiums, it has high efficiency, good color rendering, and medium life. Whereas the disadvantages are it doesn't restart immediately, control gear and igniter is important, burning position very critical, high cost of lamp and ballast.
This is B session and this is my part 1 video of the BS assignment. Today my topic is about the task light. We have discussed about types of lights. In types of lights there are total of 3 categories. 1. Ambient, ascent and task light. What is a task light? Task light is a thing which increases the illuminance at a particular place and helps the particular work and be it any work. Now in this task light there are further categorized into three subtopics. And this can be easily remembered as the 3 A's. 1. Adjustable task light, average task light and asymmetric task light. This is the part 2 video and in this video I am going to explain about the average, adjustable and the asymmetric task light. Firstly comes the average task light. Here in this average task light the source is in such a way that it can provide both ambient and even the task light. Secondly, the adjustable task light. The name itself suggests that the source can be adjusted from one place to other place at which comes a very less distance. Okay. Then this example for the adjustable light is the swing arm light. See in this you can see the 4 types of swing arm lights. Like there are many kinds, but these are the 4 types. Here you can see these are the swing arm lights, and where this is the attachment of the swing arm light, and this is the source where the light comes from. This source can be adjusted from here to here, so it can be easy for access, and it can be adjusted depending on the work. This is the part 3 video, and in this video we will be discussing about the asymmetric task light. In any light source there will be 2 types of sources, 1 symmetric and 2 asymmetric. If the light which falls below the light source it is called as the asymmetric, and if the light falls either this or that side it is called as asymmetric light. And when you deeply observe in this picture, this is the source and this is the place where the light falls, and this is the example for the asymmetric light, and this is the source and this is the place where the light can be reached. And then this is the example for the symmetric lighting, and we can observe this asymmetric lighting in any like workplace, like besides your tables or any workplaces. Some example of this are like they can be used in many fields, like in dentistry, like during operations or during swing study beneath the like besides the study table, or doing any machinery work, or during stitching and etc. This is the part 4 video of the assignment. In the previous videos, we have just discussed about the average, adjustable and asymmetric task lights. And now let's go further and know some more things about the task lights. 1000 to 1400 lumens is the accepted range for a perfect task light, which means 500 lumens per square foot. And there are many companies which are manufacturing these task lights. Initially these task lights were not so adjustable in their range, but now these task lights were solely widely available that the light can be adjusted from dim to high. We will be working in different kinds of lights. Sometimes we will be working low lights and sometimes you'll be working high lights. Both are too uncomfortable for us. The perfect light is where I suggest 1000 to 1400 is a perfect light of the task light. And these LEDs are these task lights are manufactured with LEDs, light emitting diodes. These LEDs are not too harmful for the retinas, and these are very comfortable when they are applied to the task lights. These task lights, as I have specified that these task lights are adjustable, means their light can be adjusted from high to low, which can be deferred as per the work which I have done. For example, in a dentistry, it needs a very dim light for the doctor when he needs to observe in the mouth. When it comes to the table lamp, it should be further increased because the alphabets need to be visible for the naked eyes. And furtherly,
Good morning everyone, this is Hanisha. Today we are going to discuss about ambient lighting. First, what is a lighting? Lighting is also called as illumination. Lighting is deliberate use of light to achieve practical or aesthetic effect. Lighting includes use of both artificial lighting sources from the lamp and light fixtures and also from natural illumination by capturing daylight. Generally, lighting is of three types. 1 is ambient lighting, 2 is ascent lighting, 3 is task lighting. Coming to ambient lighting, we get three questions. What is an ambient lighting? How is it accomplished by? And where it is used? Coming to point number 1. What is an ambient lighting? This is the most basic of three types. It provides an area with overall illumination, radiating a comfortable level of brightness without glare, and allows you to see and walk comfortably and safely. Coming to point number 2. This can be accomplished with chandeliers, ceiling lights or wall mount lights, track or recessed light, table or floor lamps. Coming to point number 3, where it is used. It is used in the hallways, stairs for the optimal orientation and visibility. It is also useful in the kitchens and home offices. In the living rooms and bedrooms, soft white incandescent light is used to achieve temperatures. In the large areas like garages and utility rooms, fluorescent lights are used for higher illumination levels. This is all about ambient lighting. That's all for today. Thank you and take care.